Hey, everybody. Yeah, thanks for joining. I'm John Furman. This is my transformation plan presentation, which is the MAPS program, which I'll talk about today with you all. And yeah, this is an intervention protocol for youth of divorced and parentally separated families. Just the objectives. This will be a quick presentation, but I kind of want to go into the background, where MAPS came from, kind of the idea behind it, what is MAPS, what it's intended to do, what the logic is behind it. Talk a little bit about what's at stake, for kids that are, navigating the situations of parental divorce and separation. We'll go into the program itself and the interventions, what it's intended to do, and then we'll take a quick look at the references that I used in building this or completing this project. So the intended demographic for MAPS is middle and late adolescents, roughly ages 13 to 17. I think it could probably be adapted to open up that age range a little bit, but it's primarily aimed at kids that are kind of traversing, getting out of the industry versus inferiority stage, moving into identity versus role confusion, really beginning to figure out who they are, what their values are, what they care about in the world, those sorts of things. And in the industry versus inferiority phase, a lot of that is about figuring out kind of personal competencies. A lot of that is derived from comparing ourselves to others. That's those sorts of things. And so, yeah, MAPS is kind of interested in insulating kids, individuals that are kind of in the midst of these two projects, and insulating them, securing them from the stress and trauma that's often involved associated with divorce and separation. Divorce and separation is kind of a direct threat to this identity, meaning-making project that we all go through in life. Of course, we all know that adolescence is extremely turbulent as it is, with all the different changes that individuals go through in such a short period of time. And so the idea is that, to kind of outfit younger individuals with skills and knowledge that'll hopefully help them navigate that experience in such a way as to promote better outcomes. So yeah, I kind of explained this already, but yeah, this is a set of evidence-based interventions. This is based on research that I've done, where I've gone out and I've kind of verified that some of these approaches are demonstrated to have a positive effect on youth experience. And yeah, really, kind of what this is aimed at is the root cause of these stresses is that. The experience of divorce and separation can be a direct threat to identity and self-esteem, which can then result in dissociation, avoidance, and kind of puts kids at risk for all other sorts of adverse outcomes. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment, but that's kind of the concept behind MAPS. MAPS is an acronym, so it's a meaning making, agency, planning, self esteem. These kind of all directly correlate to the interventions that we'll talk about. And again, it's about helping kids navigate this tough situation, but kind of, and not to lean too much into the name MAPS. It's about reducing feelings of personal dislocation. So part of this was also kind of inspired by the painting that I have pictured here. It's by Piet Mondrian. You might be familiar with it. It's a fairly popular painting, but just looking at it, it kind of looks like a map to me, right? Like where you see these different territories and shapes in relation to one another, and there's this sort of order, harmony, balance. There's this sort of relationship between the colors and the scale, etc. And to me, that's kind of a representation of that's kind of a perfectly ordered state that represents harmony, intention, balance, all these sorts of things. And I think it's precisely that's at risk. The kids are at risk for when they experience these sorts of events. And to illustrate that, here's another painting. This is actually an earlier painting, but it's by the same painter. But I think it kind of shows the way in which that order, scale, and balance, that those can all decay, when certain stressors are involved. There's ample evidence out there that kids that experience the situation, that they're at risk for poor academic performance, truancy, absenteeism, that they report higher experiences of isolation and loneliness. They're going to be at risk for depression and anxiety, more likely to experiment with alcohol and different substances, as well as engage in risky behaviors. Yeah, we all know that adolescence and teenage years are very challenging, on their own. But when we kind of introduce these other external factors, the risks are that much higher. The stakes go up that much more. I found a really interesting paper that described divorce, the experience of divorce on teenagers, as this event of discontinuity, and that it entailing developmental interference. And so that's really what MAPS is hoping to do, is hoping to intervene, offset some of the stress from this, but really kind of empower kids and give them some tools to better navigate the situation. So MAPS is a 10-week program. This is accomplished over 10 therapy sessions over 10 weeks. There are kind of 4 different thematic segments, which I have listed here. It draws on 4 different primary modalities or interventions. So you'll see elements of narrative therapy, existential therapy, CBT, and then finally attachment therapy. But really, kind of what we want to do in the beginning is, concentrate on questions of identity and meaning. So we kind of draw from existential psychotherapy to talk to kids to reflect on their values, their meaning, kind of what they want out of life, what they believe is a good life, and we kind of ask them to structure or to respond to those questions and help outline sort of a narrative that they can follow then throughout the course of the program. We encourage them, to see themselves as agents, that they're empowered, that their choices matter, and that they have a hand in kind of determining who they are going to be and where they're going to be at the end of this situation. With that narrative, we work this into a capstone project where basically we ask kids to kind of document, record, their experience going through the program. And so that way at the end they can have something to demonstrate, to show kind of, hey, this is something that I achieved over the course of the program. And so some ideas for this could be journaling, it could be a zine, it could be a script or a short story or something like that. It could be a song, but yeah, basically it's something that counselors would stay in touch with the kids about, and just kind of see how this develops over time, how the different ideas succeed on one another. The second segment, empowerment and choice. So this is really kind of, it's focusing, continues from the previous themes, but it really gets into psychoeducation and really kind of talking to kids about, the risks involved, and kind of tries to help them go through some different experiential activities to kind of build some confidence and address the issues of internalization, blaming themselves for their parents' split, that sort of thing. The next part, weeks 5 through 8, so this is a little bit longer. Here we really concentrate on cognitive behavioral interventions. So it's really kind of working with kids to address, how do we get there? Now that we have this sense of kind of where we want to be, what's good in life, what's meaningful to us, how are we actually going to put these things into action? So we spend a little bit more time on this, since it's trying to convert those ideas into practical behaviors. But also as part of this, we address negative thoughts, but we try to get them into kind of establishing a routine, and building positive behaviors that can kind of help them get to the goals that they've articulated in the earlier parts of the program. The next part, weeks 9 through 10, why we're here. So this asks the kids basically, hey, let's make sense of all this material that we've done together, and let's, kind of finalize this plan that integrates everything that we've learned. The capstone project captures a lot of this, but kind of the new therapeutic ideas that we address here is attachment therapy. And we basically say, hey, now that we've been through this process together, we've been through this journey, what does our identity look like on our own, but what does our family identity look like moving forward? Based on the skills and things that they've learned, accumulated along the way, how is that going to change sort of the status quo with family? And so we talk to them about that, and hopefully hand them off, back to parents or, back to their guardians, and, they're, in a better situation, a better footing to kind of make good on, the values that they have and what they want out of life, but also to steer themselves away from some of the risks that we mentioned earlier. So here's a collection of the references that I used. So yeah, most of them were fairly recent from this decade. Obviously included Erickson, and there's another paper there that was from the early 80s that some of the information in that just kind of really resonated with me and my vision of what the MAPS program would be. But yeah, I just want to say thank you all very much. It's been awesome being in this course with you all, and I look forward to hearing any thoughts, questions, comments you all have on the discussion board. Yeah, I hope you all have a great evening. Thanks.